The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice. Let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great is our God! Sing with me, how great is our God! And all will see how great is our God. The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice. Let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light. Oh, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great are you, God? Sing with me, how great are you, God? And all will see how great are you, God? How great are you, God? Sing with me, how great are you, God? And all will see how great are you, God? And age to age you stand, and time is in your hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great
Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today's topic, folks, is a continuation of yesterday, and today it's 5 tips for managing triggers during addiction recovery. This is really intended for anyone that's out there in addiction recovery, but also an emphasis on my 2 friends, the one that finally made it to California and is now possibly, I think, into 2 weeks of recovery, and then the other one way up north is 3 weeks into recovery. So you two especially, but everyone, please pay attention. Today, I also want to give a shout out to my good friend, fellow addiction and life coach, Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. You can find him on www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's ODYSSEYCONSULTANT.org. That's Larry Geis at odysseyconsultant.org. He is also reachable at 516-485-2741. That's 516-485-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy will help you. That's right, you, if you're out there with an addiction and you want to reach the new life that you've been desperately seeking. Call him at 516-485-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach with over 30 years experience. Reach out to him and you tell him that you saw him on the Take Your Life Back Today show. GlobalEyeglasses.com, where they are focus on saving you money. Folks, there's a new announcement. They now are offering, starting next Monday, frames that you can actually order and try on at home. You can start getting this available next Monday. Customers, you can try frames by paying only 50% of the frame price. You will have a return label provided with those frames. You will also, for any frames that you return, get a 100% refund. Of course, the shipping is not refunded, and you will get that refund, that 100% refund, upon return of whatever frames you do not want to keep. A reminder will be sent to you to place order for the frames tried. In other words, a reminder will be sent to the customer to place order for the frames tried. Folks, this is a whole new concept on online glasses. For all you folks that call me weekly, daily, whatever it might be, and saying, how do I know what the frame is going to look like? How do I know it's going to fit me properly? Well, me with my 30 years experience can only help you so much. But now, Global Eyeglasses is giving you an opportunity to order frames. You pay 50% of the cost of the frames. Order them to your home. Try them on. Look in the mirror. Show your family. Show your friends. The ones you don't want to keep, return those. And you'll get a 100% full refund on those frames returned. But just keep in mind, we do not, or they do not, pay for the postage for you to return them. You will get a reminder sent to return those frames when need to be returned. Folks, this is a new concept. It's a new beginning of the future on online eyeglass ordering. Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money, and they offer so many different frames. They have frames that start as low as $6 and go up to $69. They will offer you anything a brick and mortar storefront can offer you, like progressives, transitions, photochromatics, high index, anti-reflecting coating, scratch coating, UV coating. Folks, it's all available at www.globaleyeglasses.com. Let them focus on saving you money. Folks, reach out to me with any questions about either Larry Geis or Global Eyeglasses at 631-599-0218, or you can call my hotline like so many of you have done at 844-405-HELP. Folks, today, this topic, 5 tips for managing triggers during addiction recovery. Completing treatment for substance abuse or alcohol addiction is a major accomplishment, and if you have done that, congratulations, I applaud you. But real work starts when you walk out the door of the addiction and rehab treatment center. That's when the real work, that's when you will be tested over and over and over again. You are now making a commitment to abstinence from drugs and alcohol every single day, and I recommend 24 hours at a time. You will encounter cravings for your drug of choice and for any escape and an opportunity to numb out, and perhaps sometimes an overall desire to not feel what you are feeling. You will encounter triggers in the form of events, people, and subsequent emotions that will make you want to drink or get high again. What you can do in these situations. Here are 5 tips for managing triggers during recovery from addiction. Number 1, identify your personal triggers. Everyone is different, so every recovering addict's set of triggers will be different as well. Some common triggers are walking by a bar, seeing someone who is drunk or even high, getting paid, the end of a grueling workday, week, getting into an argument with someone, and being bored. These are the triggers. Now listen up. Some common triggers are walking by the bar. You walk by and you see people laughing, seemingly enjoying themselves, but it is the alcohol, it is the drugs that make them smile and laugh. You're seeing someone drunk or high and you are jealous. Don't be. Getting paid is not a reason to utilize those funds for drinking and drugging. And at the end of a grueling workday, turn to something more refreshing than alcohol and drugs. Number 2, knowing what you are working with. Triggers and cravings are a very real part of recovery. Do not try to fool yourself into thinking that they will not happen to you, because they can and they might even. Instead, know your triggers, stay open to anything that may surprise you, and have a plan for when you start feeling the urge to drink or to do drugs. Have a backup plan. Have a support system. Utilize a crutch like Larry Geis or myself, both of us being addiction recovery coaches. Number 3, practice your trigger plan. Role play, even just with yourself in the mirror, what you will do when you feel like using again. Role play with your partner, with your spouse, with your children, with your friends. You may save yourself from a rough day, a temporary lapse, or a full relapse back to substance abuse by doing these, utilizing these role plays. Number 4 is take care of yourself. You can handle triggers more easily when you're eating and sleeping well, exercising, remaining aware of your emotions. You're probably familiar with HALT, H-A-L-T. H, hungry. A, angry. L, lonely. T, tired. These 4 things are said to cause more relapse and relapses. When you're taking care of yourself, you can identify when you feel any of the 4, and that is when you can take action. Taking action but not reacting puts you back into the driver's seat of sobriety. The trigger may be emotionally affecting you, but you will not act on it. If you are hungry, you will eat. If you're tired, take a nap. Rest, mediate. Lonely and angry can be a little harder to manage, but a phone call to a friend or a sponsor just might help if you talk it out. Number 5, do not test yourself. If you know that walking by a bar is a definite trigger for you, for example, then do not knowingly walk into the bar. If I walked into a liquor shop with any sort of craving for the liquor when I do my lotto, I wouldn't go in there. Yet, I find it very easy to walk in and walk out just to do my lotto. Maybe that time you are able to avoid going into the bar is a good time to do it, but the seed of a trigger is planted and might cause you to do it next time. Something else you have not identified yet as a trigger can happen, and the combination can lead you right back to drinking or drugging. There is no need to test yourself. When you identify your current triggers and you're aware of what you're working with, practice a plan and employ good self-care. You are managing your triggers during recovery from your addiction daily, 24 hours at a time. Folks, these are the 5 tips for managing triggers during recovery. Now I'm going to do a recap. Completing treatment for substance abuse and alcohol addiction is a major accomplishment, and if you have done so, congratulations. But the real work starts the day, the minute you walk out that door. It's almost like being released from jail after committing a criminal act and going out back to the public. You do not want to commit another criminal act. The same applies to drug and addiction rehab centers. You've been great while you're in there. You haven't utilized drugs and alcohol. The minute you walk out, you're open to bars. You're open to liquor shops. They're all out there. You need to refrain and come up with a plan, 5 tips to work through them. You will encounter triggers in the form of events, people, subsequent emotions that will make you want to drink and get high again. What can you do in these situations? Here are the 5 tips for managing triggers during. Identify your personal triggers. What are your personal triggers? Everyone is different, so every recovering addict's set of triggers will be different as well. Some common triggers are walking by a bar, seeing someone who is drunk or high, getting paid, the end of a grueling workday. If you're getting paid, utilize that money for bills, for family, not on alcohol and drugs. Don't take a step back. Move forward. If you're feeling things like you had a really hard day, find something more refreshing than drugs and alcohol. Knowing what you're working with, take a self-inventory. Triggers and cravings are a very real part of recovery. Everybody in the beginning has them, everybody in the middle, and some people even towards a year or 2 still have them. Do not try to fool yourself into thinking that they will not happen to you, because they will. No matter who you are, no matter how strong you are, in the beginning and the middle, in other words, the first year or so, you're going to run into those cravings, so be careful. Instead, know your triggers, stay open to anything that may surprise you, and have a plan when you feel yourself being triggered. Practice your trigger plan. Role play, even with yourself in the mirror if you don't have someone that you can role play with. What you will do when you feel like using again is something that you want to practice with a friend, a spouse, even the mirror. You may save yourself from a rough day, a temporary lapse, or a full relapse by doing these role plays, folks. Number 4 is take care of yourself. Remember the word HALT, H-A-L-T. Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. You can handle triggers more easily when you are eating and sleeping well, exercising, and remaining aware of your emotions. Keep your emotions in check. You're probably familiar with the word HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. These 4 things are said to cause more relapses than any other items. When you are taking care of yourself, you can identify when you feel any of these 4, and that is when you can take action. Taking action but not reacting puts you back into the driver's seat. The trigger may be emotionally affecting you, but you will not act on it. If you're hungry, just eat. If you're angry, find something to counteract that angriness. If you're lonely, do something with friends, family. And if you're tired, take a nap. Lonely and angry can be a little harder to manage, but a phone, a friend, or a sponsor is always a good thing to do. Number 5 is do not test yourself. If you know that walking by a bar is a definite trigger for you, for example, then do not knowingly walk past that bar. Don't be like me if you have any sort of cravings for alcohol and go into the liquor shop to play your lotto. Not a good idea. After a few years, you will become adapt to the cravings, and they won't even exist. I yesterday walked right into the liquor shop, grabbed my lotto, and walked up. 2 years ago, when I was doing that, I thought my best friends were those little bottles on the shelf behind the counter. Not anymore. Maybe that time you'll be able to avoid getting into the bar if you start just avoiding them. But the seed of the trigger is planted if you looked at it already. Something else you have not identified yet as a trigger can happen, and the combination can lead you right back to that drink. There is no need to test yourself. Don't put the extra pressure on you. When you identify your current triggers and you're aware of what you're working with, practice a plan and employ good self-care. Employ the hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and have an answer. If you're hungry, you eat. If you're angry, you You think of something that'll make you happy. If you're lonely, find a friend, a spouse, or someone to hang with. And if you're tired, by all means, take that nap. And employ good self-care. You are managing your triggers during recovery from addiction. Folks, these are the 5 tips of managing triggers during addiction recovery. And they are so important that you utilize these. Please, by all means, start today. Today is a new day. And if you put a check into your triggers and your cravings now, that'll prevent future problems. Now, anyone that's out there, I do know my 2 friends that I spoke about in the beginning. They have, like myself, had those triggers and those relapses. If you have them again, don't consider yourself a failure. Pick yourself up, dust your knees, and move forward. But whatever you do, don't ever, ever go back into the old full blast abuse. Just start again. Is it okay to have relapses? It does happen to everyone. Is it okay to utilize a relapse as a cushion to continue drinking and drugging and just saying, oh, I had a relapse, let me start again? No, of course not. But you are human, I am human. We just move forward and we learn from mistakes. What you need to do is take self-inventory and figure out what caused this relapse. Was it the fact that you were hungry? Was it the fact that you were angry, maybe lonely, or tired? Was it the fact that you went near a liquor shop? Was it the fact that you went back to the old stomping grounds of people hanging out and drinking at the corners or doing drugs at the corners? If so, you need to isolate yourself and move away from all that. Folks, I am so glad that there are people in my audience that are actually contemplating a new life. They're contemplating on taking their life back. And that is why we, Larry Geis and myself, are here. Utilize us as a crutch. Call Larry at 516-485-2741. Ask Larry to help take your life back. He has over 30 years experience. Folks, if you're watching me and you need glasses, let me just give that announcement one more time here towards closing. GlobalEyeglasses.com is now, starting next week on Monday, offering Try Your Frames at Home program. What that means is you can order frames, pay 50% of the value of the frame, have them sent to your home, try them on in front of the mirror, try them on in front of your family, and maybe show your friends. Pick the ones you want to keep, and the ones you don't want to keep, send them back to Global Eyeglasses. They will not pay for the shipping for you to send them back, but you will be able to send them back. Now, they'll give you 100% refund on the ones you sent back. Of course, not the shipping that you utilize. You will, when you get the frames, get a return label to ship them back. So that is a big plus. And you will get a reminder when those frames have to be returned. Folks, it is a great concept. It is almost the same concept as Netflix or Blockbuster with the videos. You have them sent home, you watch them, and return. Well, here, you have the frames sent to your house, you try them on, you keep the ones you want, and you send back the ones you don't want. GlobalEyeglasses.com, they are focused on saving you money, and they are also now focused on keeping frames in your home for you to try on. Go there, www.globaleyeglasses.com. Folks, I hope to God each and every one in my audience remembers that a sober today, I guarantee you, will give you a better tomorrow. And when I talk about changes in your life, folks, whether they're big or small, all changes happen in very small steps. They all do happen in small steps. And if you start thinking positive, and you start thinking how things will only get better in your life, you will see positive results. Positivity will be engulfed around you. Keep negativity out of your mind and out of your life, because it's not good for you. Let the sunshine from outside into your heart and into your home. Folks, I hope to God each and every one in my audience has a great day. But more importantly, I pray that each and every one of my audience has a sober day. And may God bless you.